Hey there, this is Kyle Zempel from Black Earth Angling Company. Today I'm going to be tying up a classic pattern, one of which is not mine, of course, but something that's been around a long time. I like to call it Old Faithful. This pattern is one that I really enjoy. It's simple, it's not real big. It can be tied in any color and really any size. It's something that I find often very, very effective. I think we all get in a state of mind where we need to be throwing these big honking streamers. And let's be honest, fish aren't always eating big honking streamers. Sometimes, smaller is better. So this pattern is one that I think you'll enjoy and something that you should probably have in your box. It can be tied in, again, an array of colors and sizes. Here is my favorite size. It's a size, I believe, 4, and it is a pattern that I find when fish maybe aren't feeling super aggressive, that they'll still take. Again, it's a pattern that if you're fishing anywhere where there's large amounts of baitfish, this is a go-to pattern. Not many things imitate a small baitfish better than this one right here. So do yourself a favor, tie some of these up, and you'll certainly enjoy it. So grab yourself a nice cold beverage here, and let's do it. Alright everyone, we're going to start with a size 4 stinger hook. Any stinger hook will do. Here I use a Mustad. I also use a Gamakatsu B10S. Get yourself some thread down, and then we're going to use some ripple ice fiber for the tail. A little goes a long ways with the ripple ice fiber. So you don't want to have too much. Nice sparse tail here. We're going to tie that in the middle and then fold back over, wrapping backwards to secure that in. Pull out any loose fibers. And then we're going to bring some diamond braid in here. We're going to lash that on right at the back of the hook. And then we will advance our thread forward, leaving about a hook eyes gap at the front of the hook. Wrap that diamond braid nice and tight. Tie it off. Next we will add some red Krystal flash. This will act as the gills. You can make yourself your own little hank. Take 7 or 8 fibers, burn one end of them. You have yourself a nice little hank there. Now we're going to tie in with about a 1/2 inch or so facing back towards the bend of the hook. Wrapping forward a couple wraps, and then we're going to fold the entire hank back over itself, wrapping backward towards the point of the hook to better secure that in. Next we will bring in some white bucktail. You're going to want to kind of pre-measure your length of your bucktail to be, I don't know, about 2 inches here. You're going to use about a 1/2 pencil width. So you're going to measure it, and then you're going to make an angled cut, nice and clean, so that you're able to create a nice clean head. One securing wrap, and then tighten down as you wind towards the eye of the hook. You want to leave yourself a nice little pad here, about 1/8 of an inch. Next will be some ripple ice fiber in the color pink. You want to be real sparse here, only a couple of fibers, just the smallest pinch. Pull a little bit out. We're going to tie that in about halfway, maybe 3/4. And then fold back over, wrapping back over it. Next, some olive bucktail. We're going to use about a 1/2 pencil size here. Again, this really is personal preference on how sparse you want this. Angle cut that bucktail, and then you're going to wrap over, touching wraps, to create a nice clean head there. Then we'll bring in some ice wing fiber. This is the minnow back color. You can omit this stage if you'd like, but I like to add a little bit of extra flash in here. I want to make sure that stays on top of the hook here. So we're going to pinch really nice and tight, holding that fiber on top of the hook, and then make some wraps over the top. Cut it off, clean it up with your thread. And then we're going to come in and whip finish. Things are looking pretty good so far. We're going to use some gel control super glue to add some eyes. Again, you can take a marker here and just draw some eyes on. I'm going to add eyes for my good friend Eric Christensen. And then I'm going to add a little bit of UV cure on the top. A little goes a long ways here. We just want enough to keep the eyes on. Use your bodkin to spread it around. And then we'll hit it with the UV light. So this color scheme is probably one of my go-tos. It imitates an emerald shiner. It's a great color scheme for anything that's chasing emerald shiners. Here it would be smallmouth bass. But we're going to pop that fly out of the vise, and then we're going to trim up that ripple ice fiber tail. That ripple ice fiber could be a little crazy at times. I like to just make an angled cut from the tail angling down towards the bend of the hook, just to clean things up for when it's wet. And there we have it. The Old Faithful in the emerald shiner color. That about does it, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in to this episode of Drinking with Scissors. Support your local fly shop, and we'll see you next time.